My stepmother drugged me at dinner and tried to force me to sign over my company to his son. So I faked passing out, got it on video, and now they're all behind bars. Please take a second to support our channel, hit subscribe and drop a comment saying where you're watching from. You're part of this story too. I should have known something was wrong when Matilda called me personally. My stepmother hadn't dialed my number in 3 years. Not since I'd refused to give her son Ryan a VP position at my tech company. Gemma, sweetie. Her voice dripped like poisoned honey through the phone. Your father misses you terribly. Can you come to dinner Friday? Just family. Family. The word tasted bitter. Dad married Matilda 6 months after Mom died, and she'd spent every day since trying to erase Mom's memory from our lives. But Dad's voice in the background, weak and pleading, made my chest tighten. He'd been sick lately, pneumonia, Matilda claimed. Fine, I said. 7 o'clock. I hung up before she could gush fake gratitude. My company, Technova Solutions, had just been valued at $47 million. I'd built it from nothing, coding in Mom's basement while juggling community college classes. Now at 28, I employed 63 people and had contracts with 4 Fortune 500 companies. Matilda's eyes had turned predatory when Forbes mentioned my success. As I drove to Dad's house in Marietta that Friday evening, thunder rumbled overhead. The mansion Mom's life insurance bought loomed like a mausoleum, all Matilda's tacky renovations gleaming in the lightning. Ryan's Mercedes sat in the driveway next to a car I didn't recognize. I texted my best friend Emery, at the Lion's Den. If I don't text by 10, send help. Her reply was immediate. Got your location. Be careful, girl. Matilda answered the door in a cream Chanel suit, her smile too wide, too bright. Gemma. Tired. Come in, come in. The dining room table was set for 6. Dad sat at the head, looking grayer and thinner than I'd ever seen him. Ryan smirked from across the table, his gaze making my skin crawl. But it was the 2 strangers that stopped me cold. A thin white man in an expensive suit holding a briefcase and a woman with a tablet. Who are they? I asked, my hand still on the doorframe, every instinct screaming to run. Oh, this is Robert Reed, our attorney, and his paralegal Amanda, Matilda said smoothly, guiding me to a seat. Just here for a simple estate planning discussion. Your father's been thinking about the future. Dad wouldn't meet my eyes. My stomach dropped. Estate planning requires my presence. Why exactly? Because your family, sweetheart. We want to make sure everyone's protected. Matilda poured wine into crystal glasses. Mom's crystal, I noticed with a flash of rage. The meal appeared. Herb-crusted salmon, roasted vegetables, wild rice. My favorite. Mom used to make it for my birthday. Eat, eat. You work too hard, baby, Matilda cooed, watching me with hawk eyes. I picked up my fork, then noticed Ryan hadn't touched his plate. Neither had Matilda. Only Dad was eating mechanically like a man under hypnosis. Robert Reed opened his briefcase with a soft click that echoed like a gunshot. Gemma, your father has asked me to draft some documents, Reed began, sliding papers across the table. His fingers trembled slightly. Given his health concerns, he wants to ensure proper succession planning for all family assets. I scanned the first page, my vision blurring, then refocusing with crystal clarity. This transfers Technova Solutions to Ryan? My voice came out deadly quiet. Not transfers, dear. Restructures, Matilda corrected, her mask slipping to reveal something cold underneath. Your father invested emotionally in your little company. Now it's time to bring it into the family fold. Ryan has an MBA from Morehouse. He's qualified to run. My father invested emotionally. I laughed, harsh and sharp. He didn't invest a dime. I built Technova with Mom's life insurance money that she left to me. Wiggly. In a trust he couldn't touch. Matilda's smile tightened. Your mother would have wanted the family to work together. Sign the papers, Gemma. Don't be difficult. Dad. I turned to him, searching his face. Do you even know what she's asking me to do? He opened his mouth, but Matilda cut in. Your father is tired. He's delegated these decisions to me as his wife and healthcare proxy. Something in her tone made my blood freeze. Healthcare proxy. I looked at Dad again, really looked. His pupils were constricted, his movements sluggish. What medication is he on? That's private medical. What medication, Matilda? I stood up, my chair scraping loud against hardwood. Ryan stood too, blocking the doorway. We were the same height, but he had 80 pounds on me. Sit down, Gemma, Ryan said, his voice low and threatening. We're having a family dinner. I'm leaving. I grabbed my purse, but Matilda's hand shot out, gripping my wrist with surprising strength. You haven't finished your meal. Or your wine. Drink. Her eyes were manic now, the pretense completely shattered. My wine glass sat there, ruby red, untouched. Everyone else had empty glasses. Had they even drunk theirs? The realization hit me like ice water. You put something in my food. Matilda's laugh was brittle. Don't be paranoid. Although you do look flushed. Maybe you should sit down before you fall down. My heart hammered. I hadn't eaten much. 3 bites of salmon, a forkful of rice. But had it been enough? My mind raced through symptoms. Sweating, slight dizziness, heavy limbs. Was it real or panic? This is insane. I'm calling the police. I fumbled for my phone, but Ryan snatched it from my hand. You're not calling anyone. Sign the papers, sis. Save us all the trouble. Reed shifted uncomfortably. Mr. Ryan, perhaps we should reconsider the approach. Shut up, Matilda snapped. She'll sign. They always sign. Boys. How many times had she done this? I thought of Dad's sudden illness, his strange compliance, the way he'd changed after marrying her. What did you give him? I whispered, staring at my father. What have you been giving him? Enough to keep him manageable, Matilda said, all pretense gone now. Enough to make sure he signs what I need signed. And you'll do the same, or you'll wake up tomorrow in a psychiatric facility with a drug problem and a very public breakdown. My legs actually wobbled. Whether from fear or whatever they dosed me with, I couldn't tell. But a strange clarity cut through the fog. They'd shown their hand too early. They expected me drugged and helpless by now. So I'd give them what they expected. I feel weird, I slurred slightly, letting my eyes lose focus. What did you? I stumbled against the table, knocking over the wine glass. Matilda's smile turned triumphant. There we go. Amanda, help her to the couch. Ryan, get the papers ready. They guided me to the leather sofa in the adjacent living room. I let my body go heavy, my head loll. Through barely open eyes, I watched Ryan position documents on the coffee table, uncap a pen. Matilda crouched beside me, her perfume. White diamonds, Mom's perfume, she'd stolen that too, suffocating. Sign here, here and here, she said, her voice sharp and businesslike now. Initial there. Good girl. She tried to wrap my fingers around the pen. I let my hand flop, useless. She's too out of it, Ryan complained. I can forge it, Matilda said casually. We have her signature on file from the estate paperwork. That's a felony, Reed protested weakly. Who's going to prove it? She'll wake up tomorrow confused, maybe not remembering dinner at all. The Rohypnol dose was perfect. Rohypnol. Date rape drug. My stomach churned with fury and fear, but I kept my breathing steady, deep. My purse had fallen beside the couch. My phone was gone, but my Apple Watch sat hidden under my sleeve. And it had been recording since Ryan grabbed my phone. I still think we should have just killed her, Ryan said so casually my blood froze. Car accident, mugging gone wrong. Make it look random. And trigger a murder investigation that could uncover everything? No. Matilda's voice was pure ice. This is cleaner. She signs we have controlling interest, then we dissolve the company and liquidate the assets. $47 million split 3 ways. 2 ways, Ryan corrected. We're not splitting with him. He jerked his thumb toward the dining room where Dad sat. Your father's will is already changed. Everything goes to me as surviving spouse. And with his advanced Alzheimer's, he doesn't have Alzheimer's. I wanted to scream, but I kept still as death. The courts will never question it. Especially with Dr. Morrison's documentation. Matilda stood, pacing now, her heels clicking. 3 years I've been planning this. 3 years of slipping him those pills, watching his mind fog, making him dependent. Gemma was the last obstacle. Once we control Technova, we're set for life. What about Reed? Ryan asked. Reed's voice cracked. I won't say anything. I swear. You'd better not, Matilda said softly, dangerously. Remember, we have those photos of you with that 19-year-old intern. Your wife, your firm, the bar association, they'd all be very interested. So Reed was being blackmailed too. This was bigger than I'd imagined. My watch buzzed silently. 20 minutes of recording. Enough. I needed to get out, get help, get evidence to the police. But first I needed them to incriminate themselves completely. I let out a soft moan, stirring slightly. Is she waking up? Ryan asked. Give her another dose, Matilda commanded. No. Reed stood abruptly. I agreed to witness documents, not participate in drugging and fraud. This is over. I'm leaving. Sit down, Robert. Matilda's voice could have cut glass. You're in this now. Accessory to everything. You leave, I make one phone call, and your life is over. I heard him sink back into his chair, broken. Please, he whispered. Please, there has to be another way. There isn't. Gemma's mother took everything that should have been mine. I worked as your father's secretary for 10 years, Gemma. 10 years of fetching his coffee and filing his papers while he worshipped Saint Angela at home. Then she died finally, and I thought, but no. She left everything to you. Her precious daughter. Matilda's voice cracked with venom. I married a shell of a man just to get close to that money, that house, that life. And you waltzed in with your tech company and your success, and everyone loves Gemma, poor motherless Gemma, brilliant Gemma. Well, not anymore. Matilda, maybe we should reconsider, Ryan started. Shut up. I've spent 3 years poisoning that man, 3 years playing devoted wife, and I'm not walking away with nothing. The room went silent. Even through my fake unconsciousness, I felt the weight of her admission. She just confessed to poisoning my father. For 3 years. The rage that filled me was white hot and deadly, but I channeled it into stillness, into patience. Not yet. Just a little more. You're insane, Ryan said, and I heard genuine fear in his voice. You told me he was just sedated, that it was temporary. Oh, grow up, Matilda snapped. Did you really think I was just giving him Ambien? I've been using a cocktail. Benzodiazepines, antipsychotics, even small amounts of mercury. Enough to cause real cognitive decline. Enough that when he dies, it'll look natural. When he dies. Ryan's voice rose. Mom, what the hell? He's 62 with a bad heart. Another year, maybe 2, and he'll have a stroke or cardiac event. Totally expected given his manufactured medical history. We just have to wait. I heard footsteps, Ryan backing away. This is murder. You're talking about murder. I'm talking about survival. About getting what I deserve. Matilda's voice turned pleading. Ryan, baby, please. This is for us. For our future. Don't you want the life I promised you? The money, the house, the respect. Not like this. But his voice wavered. Weak. Like he'd always been weak. I thought we were just... I didn't sign up for killing anyone. You signed up the moment you agreed to this dinner. You're complicit now. All of you. Matilda's voice turned sly, manipulative. But think about it, Ryan. $20 million. You could pay off your gambling debts, start fresh. No more bookies calling, no more threats. Isn't that worth a little moral ambiguity? Silence. Then, how much do I owe again? $73,000 to Vincent's crew. Another $45,000 to that casino in Biloxi. I've been tracking your spending, baby. I know everything. He was actually considering it. My stomach turned. Fine, Ryan said finally. But I want my cut up front. In cash. Before anything else happens. Smart boy. Matilda sounded pleased. Amanda, the briefcase. I heard locks clicking, then the rustle of paper. No money. Stacks of it. Here's $50,000 to show good faith. The rest when we liquidate Technova's assets. But Ryan. Her voice hardened. If you betray me, I'll tell Vincent exactly where you've been hiding. And I'll tell them about the money you stole from his safe that night in Atlanta. You said you'd never. I'll say whatever I need to say. That's the difference between you and me. I'm willing to do what it takes. My watch buzzed again, 30 minutes. My arms ached from staying motionless, but I couldn't move yet. Reed spoke up, his voice defeated. What do you need me to do? Forge her signature. You've done it before for other clients. I've seen your work. Those were estate documents with verbal consent, Reed protested. This is different. This is billable at triple your hourly rate. Plus $250,000 bonus when it's done. Silence. Then, show me where to sign. My heart broke. Everyone had a price apparently. Even their freedom. There's my pragmatist, Matilda purred. Sign as witness here, here and here. Dated 2 weeks ago. We'll say she signed during a family meeting. I listened to pen scratching paper, to the sound of my company being stolen, my future being rewritten. And I smiled inside, knowing every word was being recorded, every confession saved. They just handed me everything I needed to destroy them. What do we do with her now? Ryan asked. Take her to her apartment, put her to bed. By morning she'll wake up confused, maybe not remembering anything. Rohypnol causes amnesia. We'll tell her she got food poisoning, that she signed some papers but she was coherent. If she fights it later, we have Reed's testimony that she was lucid. And if she goes to the police? With what evidence? Her word against all of ours. Besides, I've been documenting her erratic behavior for months. Emails to her father expressing concern about her stress levels, her mental health. Screenshots of her concerning social media posts that I created from a fake account. Dr. Morrison will testify about her anxiety medication if needed. She'd thought of everything. Or so she believed. Ryan, get the car. Pull around back so the neighbors don't see. Amanda, help me get her up. Hands grabbed me, hauling me upright. I kept my body limp, dead weight. Through the narrow slits of my eyelids, I saw the dining room. Dad still sitting there, staring at nothing, and my heart shattered. Goodbye, Mr. Jameson, Matilda said cheerfully to my father. Sleep well. Take your pills. She rattled a prescription bottle, and I watched her dump 3 pills into his hand, guide them to his mouth with a glass of water. Evidence. All evidence. The car's ready, Ryan called from the back door. They dragged me through the kitchen, my feet bumping against tile. Cold night air hit my face as they hauled me outside. Rain had started, light but steady, washing away the evening's heat. Ryan's Mercedes idled in the darkness. Then I heard it, sirens. distant but growing closer. What is that? Ryan froze, my arm around his shoulder. Probably nothing. An accident on the highway, Matilda said, but her voice was tight. Get her in the car. Now. They opened the back door, started pushing me inside. The sirens grew louder. Not passing by. Coming here. Matilda. Ryan's voice shook. Shut up. Go drive. We'll take the back roads. But headlights swung into the driveway, blue and red lights flashing. 3 police cars blocked the exit. Then 4. Then 5. A voice boomed through a megaphone. This is the Marietta Police Department. Step away from the vehicle with your hands visible. How? Matilda's voice was pure panic now. How did they? I opened my eyes fully, stood up straight, and smiled at her shocked face. Because I wasn't actually unconscious, you psychotic witch. I pulled back my sleeve, showing the Apple Watch still recording. Every word. Every confession. All saved to cloud storage with copies sent to my attorney, my CFO, and Emery, who called the police the moment I triggered the emergency SOS 30 minutes ago. Matilda's face went white, then red, then purple with rage. You little bitch, she lunged at me, but Ryan grabbed her back. Officers swarmed us, weapons drawn. Hands up. All of you, hands up. I raised my hands calmly, my watch glinting under the porch lights. Officers, I'm Gemma Jameson. I'm the victim here. That woman drugged me with Rohypnol, attempted to force me to sign over my company through fraud and coercion, and has been slowly poisoning my father for 3 years. It's all recorded. I'll need medical attention, and my father needs immediate hospitalization and toxicology screening. Detective Lisa Morrison, no relation to Matilda's paid-off doctor, took my statement while paramedics checked my vitals. Blood draw showed Rohypnol in my system, just as I'd suspected. Dad was rushed to Piedmont Hospital, where doctors confirmed toxic levels of benzodiazepines, antipsychotics, and mercury in his bloodstream. Matilda screamed as they handcuffed her, her designer suit soaking in the rain. She's lying. He planned this. She set us up. Ma'am, you confessed to poisoning your husband on a recording, Detective Morrison said calmly, and to conspiracy to commit fraud, extortion, and blackmail. You have the right to remain silent. I suggest you use it. Ryan didn't fight the handcuffs, just stood there looking defeated. I want a lawyer. I'll cooperate. I'll tell you everything. Ryan. Matilda shrieked. Don't you dare. She's crazy, Ryan told the detective. I didn't know about the poisoning. I thought it was just financial stuff. Please, I'll testify against her. I'll give you everything. Coward to the end. Reed was handcuffed too, weeping. Amanda, the paralegal, was let go after questioning revealed Matilda had forced her participation through threats against her undocumented family members. By midnight, I sat in the hospital beside Dad's bed, watching his chest rise and fall. Doctors said the poisoning had caused significant damage, but with treatment and time he might recover most of his cognitive function. Might. I'm so sorry, baby girl, he whispered, his voice hoarse but clear for the first time in years. I knew something was wrong, but I couldn't think straight. It's not your fault, Daddy. I squeezed his hand, tears streaming. None of this is your fault. The trial lasted 4 months. Matilda was convicted on 11 counts. Attempted fraud, conspiracy, administering noxious substances, elder abuse, extortion, and 7 counts of witness tampering. She got 23 years without parole. Ryan pleaded guilty to conspiracy and fraud, got 8 years with possibility of parole in 5. Reed lost his law license and got 3 years probation after cooperating fully with prosecutors. Dr. Morrison, the real one, the one Matilda had bribed, lost his medical license and faced separate charges. Dad recovered slowly but surely. 6 months after that terrible dinner, he could hold full conversations again, remember things, laugh at jokes. We sold the mansion, too many bad memories, and he moved into a condo near my new office. Technova's solutions thrived. The publicity actually helped. People loved the story of the woman who outsmarted her would-be poisoners. We landed 3 new major contracts. Forbes did a follow-up, How Gemma Jameson Saved Her Company and Her Father's Life. I framed it next to Mom's photo in my office. Some nights I still dream about that dinner, about the moment I realized what they'd done. But I wake up knowing I won. Not just the legal battle, but something bigger. I'd refused to be a victim. I'd used my fear, channeled my rage, and turned their weapon against them. Emery and I had dinner last week. Salmon, wild rice, roasted vegetables. My favorite. You know what's crazy? She said, raising her wine glass. You literally saved yourself. That was all you. I clinked my glass against hers. Not all me. I had you. Always. Always, she agreed. And this time when I said the word family, it didn't taste bitter at all.